All the splash guards taken down on the brand new 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe EV. Here is the battery pack. The giant battery pack. And we're ready to spray. So something that I like to talk to people about who are getting rust proofing is not all rust proofing is created equal. And the rust proofing here, our standard cherry scented liquid rust check product, this is what it looks like. That's the consistency of it. What would you say that looks like? Olive oil maybe? So we're not dealing with super thick black tars, which I also have right here. Super thick black tars, that's what it looked like, super thick. So there's some rust proofings and coatings that you would not want to spray on electronics and on batteries. I wonder what happened here. Maybe that is supposed to be, yeah, that's supposed to be right there, probably. Or around the other wire. Fixing mistakes from Hyundai. Well, anyway, getting a standard cherry scented liquid rust check spray annually is the equivalent of like driving through a muddy swamp. So for those of you who are concerned about your electronics and the battery and whatnot, like if you can't drive through a puddle, then you can't get rust check. So if you can drive through a puddle, which all these vehicles are made to do, then don't worry about the rust check. I'm talking specifically about rust check. If you get layer and layer and layer of that thick coating, the black tar sprayed on top, yeah, one thing that would do is, if it's full of solvents, is start eating away and deteriorating the wiring casings. Another thing it could do over time is, if you have heat sensors or thermal switches inside of anything, it would cause them to get hotter and hotter. Whereas in winter, it actually would act as a sound deadener and a way to keep everything insulated. So it's just something to keep in mind, that they're not all created equal. So, but as far as rust check goes, it began in the aviation industry. So they were worried about corrosion and lubrication on airplane parts. So airplane parts, obviously full of electronics, sensitive wiring, low voltage switches, and compressor parts. So for my customers who are freaked out about rust proofing and still want to get something, because I mean, look at the bottom of this vehicle. It's aside from the battery pack and a few wiring harnesses, it's entirely the same Santa Fe that I've been rust proofing forever from Hyundai. And I gotta say to Hyundai, I appreciate the upgraded clips here. Look how they're holding these splash guards up. You know, I rail against splash guards quite a lot, but so they have a few different ways to hold it up. Plus they've upgraded the quality of metal screws that are holding the splash guards up. These are 10 mil bolts with washers on them. So good job. If you have to have splash guards, that's the way to secure them up. However, I will say this, that's compressed fabric. You'd want to go with plastic or something a little bit harder, because this compressed fabric, as you can see here, it's going to collect all the road salt, and wherever it's touching a metal surface, it's going to become a catalyst actually for reactivation. You can see the beginnings of that right here. So this is some notes for Hyundai engineers. This is why you don't want to use compressed fabric. See all this white haze around here? That's the road salt. So this, when it gets rained on, it reactivates and becomes a catalyst again for corrosion against wherever it's pressing. So some notes for the engineers at a Hyundai there. Outside of that, come see me in Niagara. We're just going to do the standard cherry scented liquid rust check product. I'm going to spray that at 80 psi on the bottom. This stuff right there through my hoses and wands, and they'll be good to go. Follow me on Twitter for more at adamjosh.com.